Hey there, welcome back to another video. This weekend I'm taking you along with me for our Easter weekend in London. We're starting the day at Victoria Embankment Gardens, right along the Thames. I don't think I've ever seen so many tulips in one place in London. There were so many varieties, colors and shapes. Some of them I've never seen before. It's one of these spots that feels quieter than nearby areas like Covent Garden, even though you're right in central London. Fun fact, these gardens date back to the 19th century and were built on land reclaimed from the Thames, so you are actually working on a piece of London history surrounded by flowers. After that time, it was time for a coffee. We stopped at Amelia coffee shop for a nice latte, and it was exactly what we needed. Not long after, we made a second stop at Nata. This might be one of the best pastel de nata I've had in London. The pastry was perfectly flaky, the filling cream and the top slightly caramelized. It was really good. Next we headed to Cecil Court, and it was actually my first time visiting. Even though it's just off Piccadilly, it feels completely tucked away from the city, almost like stepping into another era. The street is lined up with independent bookshop and antique store with beautiful old sign and shop front. It's often called Bookseller Row, and it really lives up to the name. We went inside Watkin Books, which focuses on esoteric and spiritual reads. And I found a Jinn tarot deck that really caught my eye. Right across from it, there was a children's bookshop with Baba and Peter Rabbit illustration in the window. Those are two characters I grew up reading, so it felt really nostalgic. I was very tempted to buy something. From there, we made our way towards Piccadilly and stopped at the Lindt store. I didn't realize how many different Lindt flavors existed. We decided to pick a few we had never tried before, starting with a Cherry Blossom limited edition, which felt very fitting for the season. Then we went to Fortnum Mason. I always enjoy coming here, no matter the time of year, but especially around holidays. Their displays are always beautifully done, and Easter was no exception. There were rabbit, eggs, soft pastel colors, and so many small details. It's a very classic British store, and it has been around since 1707, which is quite incredible. We went downstairs to look at their tea selection. I took my time browsing and decided to buy a mango green tea to give to my family. Then we headed to the grocery store. I always enjoy looking at how everything is displayed, even simple things feels elevated there. Back home, it was time for a haul, so from Fortnum Mason we got some pastries, the tea I mentioned earlier, loaf of potato bread, and sausage rolls. We had them for lunch, and I have to say, if there's only one thing you try from there, it's the sausage roll. It's easily one of the best I've ever had. I also wanted to show you the Lindt all from Cherry Blossom to matcha to even popcorn. There were so many interesting options and everything we tried so far was delicious. To finish the day, I have one last haul from Emma Bridgewater. They were having an Easter sale, so I took the opportunity to pick up this beautiful Easter egg mug with 40% off. I also bought 2 summery mugs, a bluebell one and a strawberry one. One of them was a second. I was a bit worried about the black mark on it, but it came off very easily. One thing I really like about Emma Bridgewater is the packaging and the attention to detail. Each mugs come with a sticker showing who prepared it, which adds a really nice personal touch. And that was it for day 1. The next day was Easter Sunday and we started it with a relaxed brunch at home. We made pancakes, topped them with strawberry and of course the Cadbury mini eggs, which make everything better. We had breakfast while watching a Nata live stream. My boyfriend is really into space and I have to admit I was not that interested before, but recently I've really enjoyed following the Artemis missions. Watching the crew travel around the moon made me much more interested in space and now I'm actually excited for what comes next. After breakfast, I bought some tulip for Easter inspired by the one we saw the day before at Victoria Embankment. They instantly brighten up the space. Then it was time to start baking. I decided to make hot cross buns using a recipe from Kerrygold. I started with the dough, so in a medium-sized pot I added butter, mixed spice and sugar and heated everything gently until melted. Then I removed it from the heat, poured in the milk and added the egg and whisked it well. In a separate bowl I sifted the flour and cocoa powder, added the yeast, made a well in the middle and poured in the milk mixture. I mixed everything until it formed a dough, and then I put it in the mixer and let it knead for about 5 minutes until it was super smooth. I covered it and left it proof in a warm place for 1 hour and 30 minutes until it doubled in size. While the dough was resting, we went for a walk. The weather wasn't bad and it was nice to get some fresh air and look at more flowers. I also took some time to read Bunny by Mona Awad. The story follows Sam, a scholarship student in an elite MFA program who gets drawn into a strange and slightly unsettling group of classmates who call each other Bunny. Back home, it was time to shape the buns. Once the dough was ready, I added some chocolate chips, kneaded it again, and then divided into 6 balls and shaped them. I placed them on a tray, covered them, and let them proof again for another 30 minutes. At the same time, I made the caramel sauce, which is the best caramel sauce I've had ever. In a saucepan, I heated water and sugar until dissolved, and then let it boil until it starts to change color. That takes quite a lot of time, but we have to be patient. I then carefully whisked in the cream, added butter, vanilla and salt, and let it cook for another minute. Before baking, I popped the crosses onto the buns and baked them for 25 to 30 minutes. Finally, I was ready. I put the caramel sauce on top, and then it was time to try them. I made myself a cup of tea, sat down and enjoyed the moment. I kept reading my book and I'm still not completely sure how I feel about it. I did expect magical realism and dark academia, which it definitely has, but I did not realize it will also lean into a horror. I do like the mix of genre, but the horror elements were quite unexpected. Overall, I think I would still recommend it. As for the buns, they turned out really well. They took some effort, but it was definitely worth it. I hope you enjoyed coming along on this Easter weekend in London, and I will see you in the next video.